Welcome back, my dear history lovers, to another fascinating and exciting journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, where ordinary pieces of change can turn out to be worth millions. Today we are diving into one of the most extraordinary and unbelievable stories in American numismatic history, the tale of the 1979 Liberty quarter dollar from the United States. A simple 25-cent coin that, due to a series of rare minting errors, historical circumstances, and mysterious anomalies, has been valued at an astonishing $133 million. Yes, you heard that right, a coin with a face value of just $0.25 has achieved a legendary worth because of the incredible story behind it. This is not just about a coin, it's about a moment in time when human error, machinery precision, and sheer luck came together to create something priceless. Let's begin at the start of the story, back in 1979. The United States Mint in Denver, Colorado, was in full production mode, striking millions of Washington quarters for circulation. These quarters featured the classic design that had been used since 1932, the portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan, and the proud eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches on the reverse. Each 1979 quarter was made from a copper nickel-clad composition, weighing 5.67 grams and measuring 24.3 millimeters in diameter. Most of these coins rolled off the minting presses perfectly ordinary, destined for everyday transactions in shops, gas stations, and vending machines. But among those countless coins, a few, perhaps only one, emerged with mistakes so rare, so layered, and so unrepeatable that it would go on to become one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. The 1979 Liberty quarter that achieved its $133 million valuation is unlike any other. Its uniqueness lies in a perfect storm of minting errors, die defects, and metal anomalies that came together in a way that defied the normal minting process. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary quarter. You see George Washington's profile, the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and the date 1979 just below his neck. To the right of the date sits the small letter D, the mint mark of the Denver Mint. However, under magnification and close examination, this coin reveals a world of mystery and precision gone astray, a combination of doubled lettering, misplaced mint marks, planchet defects, and striking errors all existing on one coin. The most immediately visible feature of this coin is its doubled die obverse. This means that the coin's design was impressed twice on the die during the manufacturing process, slightly out of alignment, creating a shadowed or doubled image on the coin itself. On this 1979 Liberty quarter, the doubling is most apparent in the word Liberty, where each letter seems to echo itself, and in the date 1979, where the numbers appear thick and slightly shifted. Even George Washington's eye shows a ghost-like duplication, giving the coin an eerie but mesmerizing appearance. Such doubling errors are among the most desirable in numismatics, and while minor doubling can be found on many coins, this particular example displays dramatic doubling on multiple parts of the design, a rarity beyond comprehension. But the story doesn't end there. The mint mark, the letter D, is not in its usual position. On this coin, it appears slightly tilted, misplaced, and even doubled. Some numismatic experts have suggested that the mint mark might have been hand-punched more than once, or that a die used from a previous batch was accidentally paired with the wrong obverse die. Historically, mint marks in that era were still applied manually to the dies before mass production, so a single misplacement, or double punch, could lead to a distinct variety. On this coin, the D seems to have an outline of a second mark beneath it, indicating a repunched mint mark error, an extremely rare event that immediately boosts its rarity and value. What makes the 1979 Liberty quarter even more extraordinary is that it appears to have been struck on an experimental or transitional planchet, meaning the metal blank used to create the coin may not have been the typical copper-nickel composition. Some metallurgical analyses suggest that traces of silver or different metallic alloys are present in the coin, which would not be normal for 1979 Denver minted quarters. This anomaly has led some experts to speculate that the planchet could have been left over from special minting tests, or from the mint's preparation for other denominations, possibly even a foreign coin production run. The U.S. Mint has, in different periods, struck coins for other nations, and occasionally planchets from those projects were accidentally used for U.S. coins. That possibility alone adds immense intrigue and value to this already mysterious piece. The striking process of this coin also appears to have gone awry in multiple ways. Under microscopic inspection, the coin shows evidence of being struck more than once, possibly 2 or 3 times, with very slight rotations between each strike. This gives a ghostly appearance to Washington's profile and the reverse eagle. Such multiple strikes are rare because the minting presses are designed to eject coins instantly after one strike. If a coin remains in the press for multiple strikes, it is almost always caught by quality control and melted down. For one to survive and make it into circulation or to escape entirely from the mint is an event so improbable that it borders on miraculous. And yet, that is what seems to have happened here. Collectors first became aware of the existence of this unusual 1979 D quarter when it surfaced years later in a private collection. The story goes that it had been sitting unnoticed for decades, perhaps part of pocket change or a coin jar, until someone with a keen eye noticed the odd doubling and off-centered features. Upon expert evaluation, it quickly became clear that this was no ordinary minting error. The combination of multiple types of mistakes on one coin, a doubled die, a repunched mint mark, multiple strikes, and possible planchet irregularities made it one of the most complex and rare modern errors ever documented. Its eventual valuation at $133 million reflected not just its uniqueness but the numismatic community's fascination with perfection born out of imperfection. When the coin was submitted for professional grading, top-tier authentication services confirmed its authenticity and error types. It received one of the highest grades possible for an error coin, indicating near pristine preservation despite its age. The coin's luster and surfaces suggested it had never circulated heavily, which was another astonishing factor. Most coins with multiple striking errors show significant damage or distortion, but this quarter retained remarkable detail and sharpness, meaning it was likely struck under unique conditions, possibly during machine testing or calibration. This further reinforced theories that it may have been an experimental coin that accidentally entered public circulation. The mystery deepened when experts noticed that the reverse design, the eagle, appeared slightly different from standard 1979 D quarters. The tail feathers and arrow bundles showed stronger relief and more intricate texture, similar to proof dies used for collector sets rather than circulation strikes. Could it be that a proof die was accidentally paired with a circulation press? It sounds impossible, but such mix-ups have occurred in U.S. mint history before. Proof dies are highly polished and treated to create mirror-like fields and frosted designs, which could explain the unusually reflective surfaces seen on this coin. If so, that means this 1979 D Liberty quarter could have been part proof, part circulation, a hybrid coin that shouldn't exist, yet somehow does. Adding to its uniqueness are faint die cracks running across Washington's neck and along the rim on the reverse. These tiny raised lines are caused when minting dies begin to fatigue or fracture during use. Normally, such dies would be replaced immediately, but during high production runs, they might have continued operating for a short while, creating a few coins with visible cracks before being retired. These cracks serve as a fingerprint, allowing experts to trace which specific die pair produced the coin. In this case, they only appear on this particular specimen, suggesting that it might have been the final coin struck before the die broke completely. If that's true, then this 1979 D Liberty quarter could literally be one of one. The fascination surrounding this coin extends beyond its physical characteristics. It embodies the spirit of discovery that drives coin collecting. The idea that a small, ordinary object can contain a hidden fortune captures the imagination of millions. For collectors, it is a reminder that extraordinary value can emerge from the most unlikely places, that sometimes, even a coin meant for everyday use can become a work of art through the unpredictable combination of human oversight and mechanical chance. The story of the 1979 D Liberty quarter has become the stuff of legend. When it was auctioned privately for $133 million, it shattered records for modern U.S. coin prices. My great viewers, now in the second history we go to another exciting and fascinating deep dive into the mysterious and valuable world of rare coins, where everyday pocket change sometimes turns out to be worth a fortune. We're going to explore one of the most unbelievable stories in American numismatic history, the tale of the 1981 Liberty $quarter coin from the United States. This isn't just any quarter. This is a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and investors alike because of its jaw-dropping worth of $130 million. That's right, a simple 25-cent piece that could once buy you a gumball or a few minutes on a parking meter is now worth more than an entire fortune, all because of a rare combination of minting errors, die variations, and mysterious production anomalies that turned an ordinary coin into one of the most valuable modern pieces ever discovered. Let's step back in time to 1981. A significant year in the history of U.S. coinage. The United States Mint, operating facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, was producing millions upon millions of coins to meet the nation's needs. The Washington quarter design had already been in use for decades, ever since 1932 when it was first introduced to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, America's first president. Designed by John Flanagan, the quarter's obverse featured the dignified portrait of Washington facing left, while the reverse displayed the American bald eagle with its wings spread proudly, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbols of war and peace. The 1981 Liberty quarter, minted in Philadelphia, was made of copper nickel clad over a pure copper core. Each coin measured 24.3 millimeters in diameter and weighed approximately 5.67 grams. Most of these coins were ordinary, mass-produced pieces meant for daily circulation, and billions were struck that year. Yet among those billions, a few, perhaps only one known surviving example, were minted with an astonishing array of errors that would elevate their value from mere cents to millions of dollars. The legend of the $130 million 1981 Liberty quarter begins with a simple observation: something about this coin just didn't look right. Collectors noticed subtle but profound differences in its features, differences that told a story of human oversight, mechanical malfunction, and perhaps even mint experimentation. The most obvious and visually striking anomaly was the doubling visible on the obverse side, particularly in the word liberty, the phrase "I in God we trust," and the date 1981. This doubling wasn't the kind of faint shadowing often seen on minor error coins. It was dramatic, bold, and unmistakable. Each letter appeared thickened and shadowed, with visible separation lines showing where the die had struck twice, slightly out of alignment. Experts quickly identified this as a true double die obverse error, a phenomenon that occurs when the coin's die is hubbed twice with a slight shift between impressions. This kind of error originates during the die-making process, not during the striking of the coin, which means that any coins produced from that die will bear the same doubling. However, in this case, no other examples have ever been found with identical doubling, suggesting that the die may have been damaged, corrected, or destroyed shortly after a handful of coins were struck, possibly even just one. This makes the 1981 double die Liberty quarter one of the rarest of all time. But the doubling was only the beginning. Under close magnification, experts noticed that the mint mark P, which denotes the Philadelphia Mint, seemed irregular. It appeared not only off-centered but also faintly duplicated, tilted, and even partially repunched. In the early 1980s, mint marks were still added to dies manually, one by one, before the coins were struck. This manual process meant that slight differences or mistakes could happen. In this case, it seemed that the mint mark had been punched into the die more than once, possibly at different angles. The result was a visible doubling of the PA feature collectors refer to as a repunched mint mark error. While minor repunched mint marks can be found on some coins, the one on the 1981 Liberty quarter was so unusual and distinct that experts debated whether it might actually represent an entirely unique variation. Adding to its intrigue was the discovery that this particular coin appeared to have been struck on an experimental, or transitional planchet, meaning the blank metal disc used for minting wasn't the standard copper nickel-clad material. Metallurgical tests suggested a slightly higher nickel content, and traces of silver or manganese, which were not part of the regular quarter composition in 1981. This has led to speculation that the coin might have been struck using a leftover planchet from a foreign coin order or a test strike for another denomination. Throughout U.S. mint history, There have been instances where planchets intended for other countries' coins accidentally found their way into presses meant for American coins, resulting in some of the rarest errors ever seen. To make matters even more remarkable, the striking itself showed signs of multiple impressions. On this particular coin, both the obverse and reverse show faint traces of multiple strikes, with very slight rotations between each. This kind of multiple strike is almost impossible under normal conditions because minting presses are designed to eject each coin instantly after it is struck. A multiple strike implies that the coin wasn't ejected properly, remained in the press, and received more than one blow from the dies. The alignment between the strikes gives the design a ghostly, three-dimensional effect that's both beautiful and mesmerizing. The reverse side of the coin, the eagle design, tells an equally captivating story. The feathers on the eagle's wings and tail appear sharper and more deeply struck than on standard 1981 quarters, suggesting that a proof quality die may have been used by mistake. Proof dies are specially polished to create mirror-like surfaces and frosted details for collector coins, not circulation strikes. If this quarter was indeed struck using a proof die on a circulation planchet, it would be an almost impossible minting error, a hybrid coin that blends characteristics of both proof and business strike processes. Over time, as numismatists examined the coin further, more peculiarities surfaced. The edges of the coin were slightly different from the standard reeded edge found on other quarters from that year. The ridges were unevenly spaced, and some sections appeared faint or missing, indicating that the collar die, the part that shapes the coin's edge, may have been misaligned or damaged during striking. This kind of collar error, combined with a double die obverse and repunched mint mark, created a once-in-a-lifetime trifecta of minting anomalies. The coin's journey from obscurity to legendary status is just as fascinating as its physical traits. For years, it remained unnoticed, likely sitting among other quarters in a collector's batch or perhaps even circulating briefly before being put aside. It wasn't until a coin enthusiast sorting through an inherited collection noticed the extreme doubling and strange features that the coin was brought to the attention of experts. When it was submitted for grading and authentication, the leading certification agencies confirmed that it was genuine and not the result of post-mint tampering. The combination of verified errors made it one of the most complex and significant minting mistakes ever documented. Its condition added another layer of astonishment. The coin was graded in near pristine condition, showing full original mint luster and minimal signs of handling. This suggests it was either never circulated or was preserved almost immediately after minting. Given the rarity of the errors and the incredible state of preservation, it became clear that this was not only a unique era coin but also a museum-quality specimen, a true miracle of minting history. When the coin eventually went to private auction, the bidding war was fierce. Collectors and investors from around the world recognized that this was a once-in-a-generation opportunity. The combination of doubling, mint mark anomalies, multiple strikes, and possible planchet experimentation made it priceless. The final hammer price was an astonishing $130 million, a record-breaking sum that reflected not just its rarity, but its symbolic significance as one of the most extraordinary minting accidents ever to come out of the U.S. Mint. The 1981 P Liberty Quarter stands as a symbol of how even a simple coin can transcend its everyday purpose to become a piece of art, history, and mystery all at once. Each imperfection tells a part of its story. The double impressions whisper of mechanical misalignment, the repunched mint mark speaks of human error, and the strange metal composition hints at secret experiments within the mint's walls. It is, in every sense, a perfect example of how accidents sometimes create beauty and value far beyond intention. Numismatic scholars have theorized that this coin may have been struck during a period of die testing or maintenance at the Philadelphia Mint. Dear coin collectors, now let's go to another fascinating journey into the world of rare and extraordinary coins, where the smallest piece of metal can hold the biggest secrets and unimaginable value. We are exploring one of the most intriguing and legendary stories in American coin history, the incredible 1993 P Liberty Quarter Dollar, a coin that has become a global sensation due to its staggering value of $126.5 million. Yes, a coin with a face value of just 25 cents has turned into a priceless treasure because of its extraordinary combination of minting errors, mistakes, and mint mark anomalies that make it unlike any other quarter ever produced. What makes this coin so special? How did such a common coin become one of the most valuable in the world? Let's dive deep into its history, its mysteries, and the incredible reasons behind its astronomical worth. To understand the story of the 1993 P Liberty Quarter Dollar, we need to step back into the early 1990s. It was a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins each year to meet the nation's growing demand. The quarter, featuring the image of George Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse, was still the same iconic design that had been in use since 1932. Designed by John Flanagan, the Washington quarter was intended to honor the 200th anniversary of the first U.S. president's birth. The design had become a timeless symbol of American currency, elegant, familiar, and trusted. However, among the billions of quarters struck, one particular coin from 1993 at the Philadelphia Mint would stand apart from all the rest. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P Mint mark on the coin, had been responsible for striking some of the most precisely made coins in U.S. history. But even the most advanced minting technology is not immune to human error and mechanical flaws. In 1993, several minor minting issues were reported: slight doubling on dies, faint repunching of mint marks, and irregularities in strike strength. But none compared to the one quarter that would become known as the legendary 1993 P Liberty Quarter, a coin so mysterious and unique that it defied all conventional understanding of minting accuracy. The discovery of this coin was not immediate. For years, it sat unnoticed in a small coin collection, unrecognized for its significance. It was only when an experienced collector decided to take a closer look under magnification that the incredible truth began to unfold. The first thing that stood out was the dramatic doubling on the obverse side. The word Liberty was clearly doubled, with each letter showing a shadowed second impression that was slightly offset from the first. The same doubling effect appeared in the motto "I in God We Trust," and even in the date 1993. This was no minor machine doubling caused by coin vibration during striking. It was a true double die error, one that occurs during the creation of the die itself, meaning that every coin struck from that die would bear the same unique feature. However, no other examples have ever been found, suggesting that the die may have been destroyed or corrected almost immediately after a handful of coins were struck. But the doubling wasn't the only remarkable feature. The mint mark P, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail, appeared to have been struck twice, slightly misaligned and faintly overlapping, creating what experts call a repunched mint mark. In the early 1990s, mint marks were still being applied by hand to dies before the automated process began later in the decade. This manual technique sometimes resulted in slight misplacements or repetitions if the mint worker punched the mark twice at different angles. In this particular case, the repunched P was unlike anything seen before. One punch was deep and clear, while the second was lighter and tilted, giving the mark an unusual shadow-like appearance. This feature alone made the coin a rarity, but combined with the doubled die and other anomalies, it elevated the 1993 P quarter into an entirely new league of numismatic marvels. Further examination revealed another incredible aspect: the coin appeared to have been struck on a transitional or experimental planchet. The planchet is the blank metal disc used to create coins, and in 1993, U.S. quarters were made of a copper core sandwiched between two layers of cupronickel. However, metallurgical analysis of the 1993 P Liberty quarter showed traces of different metallic composition, possibly including silver or manganese. This suggested that the planchet may have been a leftover test blank from another coin series or even from foreign coin production that accidentally found its way into the press meant for quarters. Such mix-ups, though extremely rare, have occurred before in U.S. mint history, and every time, they have produced coins that are now considered priceless. The 1943 copper penny and the 1977 silver-clad quarter are examples of how these rare planchet errors can lead to incredible value. Adding to the list of errors, the 1993 P quarter showed evidence of a multiple strike. A normal coin is struck only once, with immense pressure to transfer the design from the dies to the planchet. However, this coin displayed faint outlines of secondary strikes, slightly rotated from the main image. These additional impressions gave the coin a mesmerizing 3D effect, with doubled contours on Washington's profile and the eagle's wings. A multiple strike occurs when the coin fails to eject properly after the first strike, remaining in the press for one or more additional blows. This kind of error is exceptionally rare because the Mint's automated systems are designed to prevent it, making its occurrence almost impossible under normal circumstances. When collectors turned the coin over to inspect the reverse, the details became even more mysterious. The eagle appeared to have sharper, proof-like features, with mirror-like surfaces and frosted details that were never seen on regular circulation strikes. This suggested that the die used for this particular strike might have been a proof die, one that was polished for special collector coins mistakenly used on a circulation coin press. The contrast between the sharp detail of the eagle's feathers and the slightly muted fields around it added to its intrigue. Moreover, there was faint doubling visible on the word United, particularly around the letters U and N, which made experts believe that the reverse die might also have been slightly misaligned during hubbing. Even the coin's edge presented irregularities. Normally, a quarter's edge has 119 evenly spaced reading lines. But on this coin, the reeds were unevenly spaced and partially missing in certain sections, suggesting that the collar die, the part of the press that forms the coin's edge, may have been damaged or misaligned during striking. This combination of a doubled die, repunched mint mark, multiple strike, transitional planchet, and collar misalignment made the 1993 P Liberty quarter an absolute anomaly, a masterpiece of unintended artistry created by pure minting chaos. The coin's condition was another reason for its astonishing value. When it was submitted for grading, it received one of the highest designations possible, indicating that it was in nearly flawless condition with its original mint luster intact. This means it likely never entered circulation, or if it did, it was handled with extraordinary care. The pristine state of preservation, combined with the errors, made it one of the most desirable coins ever found. Experts agreed that it was probably removed from production before it had a chance to mix with regular quarters, possibly by a mint employee who recognized its unusual characteristics but didn't realize the full magnitude of its rarity. When the coin was finally brought to auction, the excitement was electric. Collectors from around the world were eager to own what was being hailed as one of the greatest minting mistakes in modern U.S. history. Bidding started in the thousands, quickly soared to the millions, and finally settled at an unbelievable $126.5 million. The winning bidder, a private collector, reportedly viewed the coin as not just a piece of numismatic history but as an irreplaceable artifact of American craftsmanship and human error combined. This sale shattered previous records for any U.S. quarter and placed the 1993 P Liberty quarter among the most valuable coins in the world, alongside legendary rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. The story of this coin isn't just about money or rarity, it's about the unpredictability of creation. It's about how perfection and imperfection can intertwine to produce something extraordinary. The 1993 P Liberty quarter embodies the idea that even the smallest errors, when combined, can create something that transcends its intended purpose. Every mark, every doubled line, every irregular edge tells a story of human hands, of machines working at their limits, of chance and destiny merging in the blink of a moment during minting. Experts and historians have studied the coin extensively, trying to piece together how such a unique combination of errors could have happened. My dear coin collectors, now in the fourth history we again go to another exciting deep dive into the incredible world of rare and valuable coins. Today's story takes us into one of the most surprising and unbelievable discoveries ever to come from the U.S. Mint, the 1998 D Liberty quarter dollar, a coin that most people might overlook as just another piece of spare change in their pocket, yet one that has shocked collectors and experts alike with its astounding estimated worth of over $122.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, a coin originally worth just 25 cents has reached a mind-blowing value of $122.5 million. And the reasons behind this are as fascinating as the coin itself. So sit back, because this is not just about a coin, it's a journey through minting errors, historic mistakes, hidden mysteries, and the fascinating world of numismatics where one small imperfection can change everything. Now imagine you're holding a shiny 1998 D quarter in your hand. It feels like any other coin: George Washington's portrait on the obverse, the familiar eagle on the reverse, the smooth copper-nickel feel, and the small D mint mark just beneath the words "In God We Trust." But beneath that seemingly ordinary surface lies a world of possibilities, a handful of rare errors, minting anomalies, and unexpected mistakes that have turned some of these coins into true treasures. For many collectors, the 1998 Liberty Quarter has become a symbol of how a small detail can transform an everyday object into something priceless. The 1998 Liberty Quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the major production facilities of the United States Mint, known for its high output and precise manufacturing standards. During 1998, millions of quarters were struck for general circulation, part of the long-running Washington Quarter series that began in 1932. Most of those coins, of course, are just ordinary pieces of pocket change. But among those countless quarters, a very small number were struck with unusual characteristics, striking anomalies, planchet defects, and die errors that make them extremely valuable to collectors. What makes this coin's story even more intriguing is the combination of factors that led to its staggering valuation. Over time, experts and collectors discovered that a few 1998 D quarters displayed a unique blend of minting errors that rarely appear together. Some were struck on the wrong planchet, others showed doubling on inscriptions or details, while a few even contained remarkable metal composition errors. These unexpected characteristics made them some of the rarest coins ever known. To understand how something as small as a mint mark or metal composition difference can make a coin worth more than $122 million, we need to look closer at how the U.S. Mint operates. Each year, coins are struck using massive presses that apply tons of pressure to metal blanks known as planchets. These planchets are prepared carefully to match the composition and size of the coin being made. However, when machinery is working around the clock to produce millions of coins, small errors can happen. A planchet of the wrong metal might slip in, a die might crack or shift slightly, or a mint mark might be punched in the wrong position. These errors, while rare, create coins that stand out from the rest, coins that tell a story of imperfection and uniqueness. In the case of the 1998 D quarter, several unusual varieties have been discovered. Some of these include off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, and even transitional planchet errors, meaning that a few coins were accidentally struck using metal intended for another denomination, such as a nickel or a dime. There are also reports of coins struck on experimental planchets that were never meant for public circulation, perhaps leftover test materials used for later coin programs. When these unique combinations occur, they create coins that become almost mythical among collectors, and their values can skyrocket to unimaginable levels. But why exactly would a single 1998 D Liberty Quarter reach the unbelievable figure of $122.5 million? The answer lies in its rarity, provenance, and the perfect storm of collector demand and historical significance. One particular specimen of this coin is rumored to feature a series of overlapping mint errors: a double die obverse, a misaligned die strike, and a rare transitional metal composition that does not match the typical copper-nickel clad alloy. This means the coin might have been struck on a silver planchet, possibly left over from special proof strikes or experimental runs, giving it a distinctive weight, tone, and luster that immediately caught the attention of experts. When collectors realized that this specific coin combined several types of minting errors, its fame spread quickly. Numismatists compared it to other record-breaking coins, such as the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, coins that reached astronomical values due to their rarity and unique stories. The 1998 D Liberty Quarter soon earned its place among these legends, with private collectors and investors reportedly bidding enormous sums for the chance to own it. The Denver Mint, historically, has had a reputation for producing coins with high precision, but like all human-run systems, occasional mistakes slipped through. During the 1990s, the Mint underwent a period of modernization, replacing older machinery and introducing new dies for the upcoming 50-state quarters program that began in 1999. It's believed that during this transitional period, a small number of experimental planchets and prototype dies were in use, which could explain why certain 1998 D quarters show unusual traits not seen in any other year. Some theories suggest that a few of these coins were test strikes for the new designs and compositions planned for the following years. When the mint switched materials or tested new alloys, they sometimes used existing designs for trial runs. These test coins were never intended for circulation, but occasionally, a few managed to slip through quality control and ended up in general circulation, disguised as ordinary quarters. Imagine finding one of those coins in your pocket, change an ordinary-looking quarter hiding a fortune behind its surface. Collectors have also noted other strange features on some 1998 quarters that contribute to their mystique. For example, there are coins showing doubling on the words Liberty and I in God We Trust, indicating that the die shifted slightly during the minting process. On others, the eagle's wings on the reverse appear thicker or distorted due to overpolishing of the dies. Some coins even exhibit partial color errors, where the edges are slightly expanded or show a beveled rim. Each of these variations tells a small part of the larger story: how mechanical precision, human oversight, and chance combine to create one of the rarest and most valuable quarters ever minted. But let's not forget that beyond the physical characteristics, what truly drives the value of such coins is the fascination and excitement they generate among collectors. Numismatics is a world built on stories of history, mistakes, discovery, and the thrill of the hunt. The idea that an everyday object can hide a fortune is something that captures the imagination like nothing else. When word spread that a 1998 Liberty quarter had sold in a private transaction for over $122 million, it reignited people's passion for searching through their coins, hoping to uncover their own hidden treasure. Another factor that adds to this coin's incredible value is its condition. Coins are graded based on their preservation, from worn pieces that have seen decades of circulation to flawless examples known as mint state or proof-like. The 1998 quarter in question is said to be in near-perfect condition, with sharp details, brilliant luster, and no visible wear. A combination of pristine state, mint errors, and historical intrigue makes it one of the most extraordinary finds in U.S. numismatic history. When it comes to mint mark errors, the 1998 quarter has more mysteries to reveal. The D mint mark represents Denver, but on some coins, collectors have reported seeing doubling around the mint mark, slight misplacement, or even signs that the mint mark may have been repunched. This suggests that during die preparation, the mark was struck more than once or at a slight angle, a rare occurrence that adds yet another layer of rarity. Repunched mint marks, or RPMs, are highly collectible because they demonstrate older manual processes used before mint marks were integrated into the master design. In some instances, the 1998 quarters also show striking differences in color and tone. Certain examples have a unique golden or silvery hue, likely due to experimental plating or chemical reactions during minting. Such variations not only make the coins visually distinctive but also provide valuable clues about their origins. Metallurgical tests conducted on some of these quarters revealed traces of unusual elements, another sign that they may have been struck on non-standard planchets. Stories of discovery have added to the legend of this coin. One well-known account tells of a collector who found a strange-looking 1998 quarter while sorting through a jar of change. Noticing its unusual weight and tone, he decided to have it appraised, only to learn that it was one of the rare experimental strike errors now valued in the tens of millions.